So now moving on to the south node in the second house, which means north node in the eighth house, there's a couple of different interpretations here. The second house, in a simplistic way, represents the things that you own, your resources, and also the values that you are most dear to you naturally. And so a lot of the concept of the second house is basically how can the ways that you can um, push your own values, the way that you can make your own resources, that you can earn your way through life. So to have the south node there means that you're very used to that mode of operation. So somebody who's very adept at basically earning their own way in accordance with what they care about. So it's not a bad thing. I mean, it could be very strong for somebody who wants to do their own business and things like that. However, the idea is that you're going to be moving in what's represented by the opposite of that, which is the north node in the eighth house. So on a purely materialistic level or financial level, we're talking about, instead of worrying about only your own interests, you're moving in the direction of pushing in the direction of learning to represent someone else's interests. That could literally be being a fiduciary for someone, or managing a legacy or managing the state. It could mean managing people's finances like an accountant would or something. But it also represents something a little bit deeper than that. So we can go a layer deeper here. So on the one hand, it could be like managing legacy, but on the other hand, the eighth house, in a much older sense, is actually called the house of death and transfer. And we know today that death is also rebirth. So the idea is the eighth house represents liminal spaces, places where we go into the deep darkness of the unconscious, and our ego dies. Literally, we cease to be what we were, but we reemerge from there as something new. So it's a very, for many people, especially in our, very materialistic culture, is a kind of a frightening place. And it's like saying whoever has that north node in the eighth house, perhaps they are to develop a familiarity with depth psychology, with the occult, with death, literally like being a midwife for people who are dying in hospice and things like that. So there's many different possibilities, but that's the idea, is that kind of moving away from just, let me just earn my way and get money on the earth plane and enjoy the sensuality things of life, which isn't bad. But again, South Node being there, it's time now to push toward something in the realms that are well beyond that set of values, to the darkness and to what it can emerge from the darkness. So new ways of being can emerge through that.